You are an idiot, real man, because if you are against the LGBT as a concept, as the Republicans are, then you are still against the fucking Constitution. You are still against my rights. I don't want anything other than to be able to go to rent a house and it not be legal for them to kick me out because I'm trans. In Mississippi, right now, they could do that. Just because I'm transgender. Now, is that just selfish me? No, I'm living in a fucking dorm. I don't have to worry about that. I'm living in a dorm and no federally funded thing like a university is going to kick me out. No, that's not me being selfish. If I was selfish, I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't care about the Constitution as far as it goes. The thing is, the Republicans are against the LGBT because they have their own way. Ron Paul has his own way of wanting to bash on the Constitution. It's just a way that you are more willing to accept. A way that throws me under the bus. There's nothing in the Constitution that says anything about your right to Social Security, but there is something in the Constitution that has something to do with my rights as a human, as a citizen, being equal to all. The Constitution intended my rights to be equal to all, regardless of any kind of moral, ethical standards, any kind of... the Constitution doesn't say the intended. It seemed to be so clear, so fucking clear, that all that you had to do was say, are they a U.S. citizen? Then yes, they get the same rights. But no, that's not what you want. That's not what Ron Paul wants. I know that Ron Paul is a homophobe. I have seen all the things. I know that he won't even shake hands with someone he knows is gay. He won't shake hands with them. He won't touch them. He is so freaking... If he gets in office, he's going to take the constitutional rights away from LGBT members. That's what he and his Republican groupies are going to do, using all of these amendment taking away laws that Obama has, some of them that Obama has passed. And going to probably try to reinstitute something like Don't Ask, Don't Tell, or something even more unbearable. When these soldiers are protecting our constitutional rights and are being stripped of their constitutional rights. When we're talking about LGBT issues, we are talking about constitutional rights. We're not talking about something like just stupid Social Security. You don't even deserve to get Social Security. You have the capacity to work. I've heard your whole story about Social Security and how you get the minimum because the only real reason you can get Social Security is because of some fucking loophole. And because you are bothering them so much, so they just throw you some money so you would shut the fuck up. Which I am beginning to feel is what most of the people that give you money do. And of course, even in this rage, I remind you, you shouldn't take anything that I say too much to heart. But to say that that LGBT issues are just a sacrificable thing is like saying that black issues are sacrificable. We could go back to segregation, which is actually one of the things that Ron Paul's going to has little policies that investigated enough. Yeah, they're probably going to allow more segregation. So that you're just being ridiculous, idiotic, by saying that you support the Constitution, but what you're really saying is you support maintaining the constitutional rights for white men and women who are cisgendered and heterosexual. When you say that you support Ron Paul for the Constitution, anyone else is going to be fucked over by Ron Paul. Anyone that's gay, fucked over. Anyone that's trans, fucked over. Anyone that's black, fucked over. And you yourself are going to be fucked over because of the Social Security thing. But you don't care. You don't care because you're a fucking racist homophobe. Reminds me of a joke that I heard on what was it? Oh, it reminds me of a joke that I heard on the Urban Saints, I think. This guy told the joke about how this black guy and this Mexican both wished that they were back in the country, and every one of them was back in the country, and they were happy. And then the white guy came up and wished and said, "Well, so all the black people and Mexicans are out of America?" And the genie said, "Yeah." And the white guy said, "Then I'll just have a Coke." That's what you seem to be like. You are perfectly happy with the removal of my constitutional rights because I'm trans. You are perfectly happy with the removal of the constitutional rights of African Americans, which, as long as it's specific groups and not groups as a whole, you're fine. I don't think that any of these constitutional rights should be taken away. But I trust Obama more than I trust fucking Ron Paul, because I don't think that Obama would try and do racist, homophobic things with these laws. Like you said, it's a dog and pony show. And Ron Paul is in on it. They are going to start taking away our constitutional rights, regardless of which one it is. I'm pissed off about it. But I am not going to intentionally sabotage the rights of the LGBT, the rights of the African Americans, of all the minorities. I am not going to vote for segregation, discrimination based on sex, discrimination based on gender identity, discrimination based on race. I will not vote for that. I would rather go under a monarchy a dictatorship that still saw all the people that were under it as equal, than to have this elite white class that gets to keep their rights, but my rights and the rights of the minorities get taken away. Nuh-uh. So, you're the one being selfish here because you would be willing to sacrifice your Social Security. I understand that if it was for a greater good, but in your mind maybe it is for a greater good, because you just don't like to see someone who is gay, lesbian, trans, bi. I have heard of what you've said about African Americans. So, and you can deny it all you want, but I see your true colors. Deciding to try and get me to vote for Ron Paul, calling me selfish because I want my constitutional rights. No, real man. The selfish one is you. Because you would rather the minorities become the slaves to society and the LGBT become the dejects who are cast out to die, than to try to vote for something that will at least keep us equal. Whether it's equal in our prosperity or equal in our despair, our equality is what's most important. I would wish that we could vote for someone that's not Democrat or Republican, but that's not going to go through, and you and I both know it. And Ron Paul, a vote for Ron Paul would be sealing the fate of so many more than just me to discrimination. I can't do it. The fact that you can tells me about your character, real man. Anyone who could say LGBT rights are just a special interest group, when LGBT rights are just our constitutional rights, is someone that is too much a homophobe to accept our equality. You want people to call you daddy. You might be older than me, but it would be a discredit to the mentally challenged children to call you a retarded child. This has been Mav the Wicked, and I hope you